Welcome to Session 8, where we're going to take a look at technology and professional development. So how can you really get some high-quality professional development from your couch in your pajamas? We are going to start this session by watching a video, What is a PLN, on YouTube, and PLN stands for Personal Learning Network. So you're going to start with that video. You will transition into reading 2 blog entries about being a connected educator and about how one ELL teacher uses Twitter for their PD. These articles really spoke to me and I keep coming back to them all the time, so I wanted to share them with you. Then you will watch this video, the Session 8 video, and you can reference the Session 8 slides during or after the video. For your technology application product, your very last one in the course, congrats, you are going to create a Twitter account if you don't have it, and you're going to create an activity I call Twitter Bingo. And I will explain that to you at the end of the slides. So don't worry yet, I will go through everything with you at the end of the slides. After you complete Twitter Bingo, you will reflect on your use of Twitter. And those are your graded activities for the session. You will complete Twitter Bingo and then reflect on your use of Twitter. So let's take a look at this session slides. So I defined PLN as your personal learning network. So this is something you already have, and you've had since the day you began teaching. It's where do you learn things from? Okay, so your current PLN may include the Teacher's Lounge, where you talk about ideas or strategies. It might be books. It might be PLC meetings or staff meetings. It might be finding things on Pinterest. It might be the ELL group you know on Facebook. It really could be any number of things, in person, analog, or digital. All of that is your personal learning network. It's how do you learn about your craft education. When we talk about being a connected educator, it's a little bit different than just your PLN. So being a connected educator really comes down to how are you connecting with the world to become a better teacher? So how are you taking ideas you have, putting them through different thought processes and different resources and different tools and running them by different people to make them bigger and better in the end? So how are you taking all that knowledge and enhancing it, amplifying it? This becomes extremely important because for many teachers who teach English learners, they feel like they might be an island of one. You might be the only EL teacher in the building. You might be the only gen ed classroom teacher who has 10 ELs. You might be the only one that has a student who speaks French. At some point, you're going to feel alone. You're going to feel like you need help and you need to reach out, and no one in your building really has the experience or can help you in the way that you need to be helped. So when we become connected educators, when we reach out through technology to other EL teachers, it goes from being an island of one to a village of many. And this speaks to me because for a long time I was that only EL teacher in the building. I had 40 to 60 kids on my caseload at any given time, from kindergarten through 6th grade sometimes. And I was, running myself ragged trying to do 100 different lessons for 900 different needs. And I didn't really have anyone to turn to as a new teacher or even as a veteran teacher and say, like, what do you think about this? Do you have any ideas about this? I just needed help. I needed someone to run ideas off of, to bounce things off of. And when I really started using Twitter for professional purposes, I was just amazed and blown away that I had stayed away from it for that long, right? That I was like, I can't believe I wasn't always doing this. I was just transformed by how many people were out there and wanted to just help out other people. I started doing Twitter chats, which we'll talk about, and just reaching out to other people who I had questions for, and getting back really amazing answers that helped me teach my students. So it can really be, without being overly dramatic, life-changing when you find that outlet that's going to help you and become a better teacher and relieve some of that pressure. So being a connected educator isn't a one-size-fits-all process, right? How I connect is going to be different than how you connect, right? Because you're going to learn what you want, when you want it, and how you want it. You may not enjoy Twitter as much. You may be more of a Pinterest person, and I'm Twitter. Someone else may use blogs. Someone else may use, books that they're getting through, the courses that they're taking. It really depends on you. But what is universal is that educators are busy and cannot always maximize your own learning opportunities during the course of school hours, right? You're not really given a lot of time to kind of sit back and peruse, Twitter or blogs or Pinterest or books or talk to people in the teacher's lounge during the ins and outs of a school day. So sometimes you have to look outside of that, or you want to look outside of those hours. And being connected, or connecting with other educators outside of that school day, gives you, or having the opportunity to connect outside of the school day, gives you the flexibility and sometimes more of a comfortable, relaxed mindset for growth. And then you can decide what you want to learn, right? So it's an institute day and you're going to be learning about this, whether or not it helps you. You pick what helps you. So it's great for your own professional development, but it's also a great model for your students that you're always continuing to learn. The goal of this session is to explore how Twitter and blogs can be used to enhance learning, sharing, and connecting with each other. We're going to start with Twitter, which is a social media site allowing users to share information through 280 character posts. It used to be 140 characters, which was really tough. 280 is a lot better, I feel, for me as an educator, because none of my teaching ideas were really that succinct that they could fit well into 140 characters. Twitter is also considered a micro-blogging platform where you can share kind of real-time updates in those 280 or less characters. So we talked about blogging earlier for students, and so this is really blogging on a much tinier scale. People use Twitter for a variety of reasons, some of which are written here. But what's key about Twitter is that it is what you make of it. Whatever you want to find and want to look for, it's out there and you will find it. There's a lot of junk out on Twitter, right? There's just so much stuff. And we've looked in earlier sessions on how many tweets there are in just a second. So you can kind of get the idea of how much just words are out on Twitter. And that's a lot of stuff. And sometimes it can be overwhelming to feel like you need to sift through all of it. But we're going to show you in this session how to search more methodically and with better, and all the tools that are available, rather, for searching the content you want so that you can really tailor Twitter to what you exactly want. This is some common Twitter vocabulary. Tweet, hashtag, follow, Twitter handle, mention, and retweet. We're going to take a look at some of those. And we're going to take a look at just looking at a tweet example first. So here's an example from NASA. So this is what, in essence, a tweet will look like. But first, you need to set up a Twitter account. You can sign up for a Twitter account by clicking here. It'll take you to twitter.com. I will show you what that looks like for someone who is signing up for the first time. When you get to this screen, you're going to click sign up. You're going to enter your name, phone number. You can also use your email if you prefer, and your date of birth, because you need to be over 13 years old to create a Twitter account. And they also tailor Twitter experience, so content-wise for younger people. That's all you need to create your account. Once you have that, it'll generate a introductory user name, and you can always change that later in settings. let's go back here. So once you have signed up for your account, you will see this taskbar on the side. So I'm going to show you what my Twitter looks like. So we see this, we see something Flipgrid just retweeted, but you can see I have this toolbar down the side. If you click this circle with the 3 dots in it, that will take you to your kind of control panel here. Settings and privacy. If you click settings and privacy, there's an option to protect your tweets. People usually want to know, well, if I'm going to be starting out with Twitter, if I don't want anyone to see things, or if I want it to be private, what do I do? That's how you do that. Your settings has other tools you can use where you can change your username, your phone number, email, password, all of this other information. So that's where you can find that information. Once you have set up your account, you're going to log into Twitter and we'll take a look at some navigation topics. So this was what it'll look like when you log in, as we just saw. You will see different accounts. This is what they'll look like. So here's NASA. Here's Colorín Colorado. And what I'd like you to notice is you can see that this indicates that I am following Colorín Colorado. And since this button is still white and it hasn't been clicked, this means I don't follow NASA. So that's how you'll know if you follow someone or don't follow someone. It will say it right here. So let's say that you want to search for someone specific and start following them. If you're in Twitter, you can type a person right there. I can type at Mrs. Yanong right here to find my IRC colleague, Michelle Yanong. Click there and I can see her page and that I'm following her. So that's how you search and follow someone. You can retweet by looking at a tweet from an organization or a person you like and clicking these little arrows that are in a circle here. And by retweeting, what you're doing is you're not sending out your own message, but what you're doing is copying that message or posting it to your feed, to your account, so you can show other people. So it's kind of like posting a link in a message board or saying like, hey, check this out, but on Twitter. Okay. You've probably heard about hashtags. Very few people haven't, but hashtags are really the best way to find information on Twitter. So that's what really helps you narrow down a lot of the stuff. And I've included some popular education examples here. There is a Twitter hashtag for any and every area of education, grade levels, content areas, specific populations. You can see this is a hashtag advocacy for ELs. So it's people who have tagged their tweets as advocacy for ELs. So you'll be able to scroll through and see all the people who have tagged things as advocacy for ELs. By default, it will show you the top tweets under that hashtag, or you can search for the latest tweets under that hashtag for a chronological view. If we go back here, we can see advocacy for ELs. ELL Chat is an amazing resource. I've been following them for years. There is a Monday night ELL Chat where ELL teachers get together on Twitter and answer questions and help each other. That is something that has been really beneficial for me, but here's all the top posts that are ELL Chat posts. And we can see if we click latest, it's been tagged within 19 minutes, 44 minutes, so several times in the past hour. ELL Book Chat, hashtag ELL Chat, has spawned ELL Book Club. And so ELL Book Club is a group of educators who started an ELL themed book club. And so they read books that help them support their ELs more effectively, and then they have a chat schedule where they get on and discuss the books. So this has been, I know, really helpful for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people in Illinois and in schools I work with that love ELL Book Club. Some other examples we have here, just general ed chat. First chat is first grade chat. Math chat is math education chat. IL Ed Chat is Illinois Education Chat. So this is also a good one if you're looking to connect with other EL or other rather educators in Illinois. Social Studies Chat, Next Generation Science Standards Chat, Ed Tech Chat, and then I'm going to come back to Virtual or Virtuel, however you'd like to say it, which is online conference for teachers of ELs, and we're going to circle back to that later. So you can learn more about searching Twitter hashtags here. This list takes you to, or this link rather, takes you to a list of the complete guide to education hashtags. So whatever you're looking for, it's here, my friend. So however, certain areas in science or in tech, in equity, design, I think we passed a few up here, content areas, trends. Really, if there's an area you're interested or want to learn more about, there's a hashtag for it. Similarly, there is this list for Twitter hashtags for world language teachers, and though areas in Twitter about world language often overlap with dual language or bilingual education or EL education because the language learning aspects are all common. So I like to check out a lot of those world language hashtags as well because they have some really great ideas. So let's compose a tweet. When you go to compose a tweet, you'll have an area that looks like this. It's important to remember hashtags aren't case sensitive. You can look for hashtag groups based on like groups you follow. So the ISTE conference I follow, which is the International Society for Technology and Education, and I presented at ISTE 19, and I am not presenting or going to ISTE 20, but I am still following it because I like to see what proposals have been accepted and how I can join and attend some of the sessions remotely. So it's been really useful for me. We talked about ELL chat, any kind of movement in education, so Syrian refugees, or even themes like innovation. So you can use that to grow your PLN and learn. All you need to do is type whatever you would like to ask a question or share, post a picture. Type whatever you'd like here. You can click this to post a picture, click here to add a GIF. This image or this icon, you can click to create a poll for your visitors. And then you just click tweet and it goes out to the world. If you have your privacy settings set to that. If it's private, it will only go to your followers. There are 4 types of tweets. Ask a question, share a resource, respond to a comment tweeted by someone else, and tweet something personal that speaks to who you are. So those are the 4 main types of tweets when we're talking about using Twitter for education. So I've pulled some example tweets or sample tweets, and I'd like you to think of what would you consider as the type of tweet it is. So let's take a look. This is from Andrea Honingsfeld. Is she asking a question, sharing a resource, responding to a comment, or tweeting something personal? We can take a look at this. This is a retweet. This is a comment and a link that has been posted. We have some pictures from a classroom about a teacher who has demonstrated a new strategy. And finally, we have this post from ASCD that is sharing a blog entry and a little screen grab from that blog. So you can kind of see the range of different types of tweets that are out there. When you're starting on Twitter, sometimes it's hard to know, like, well, who do I follow? Well, luckily for you, I've put together a list of people I think who are really worth following if you're an EL teacher. And so it starts with IRC education specialists who are active on Twitter. Then I've highlighted the EL leaders, educators, and authors who are active on Twitter and who love connecting with people. That continues. I've also highlighted some EL-related organizations because they're great about tweeting articles and resources and guides to things and strategies. So it's kind of like having your own little scholastic, strategy book or whatever you have in your, computer at all times or on your phone. So if you're looking for some people to start following, feel free to start here. Or if you're just looking to kind of revamp your who you're following, every once in a while I go through who I'm following and I take out the people who I think I've heard enough from, or I'm not really getting that much information from, and I add some new people just to keep it kind of fresh because it's kind of, I like those new infusions of ideas. When you're working on Twitter, here's some pro tips. So Twitter is always on, but that doesn't mean you always have to be on watching it. So sometimes it can feel overwhelming because if you log on to Twitter, you'll see that things are just, things happen every second, right? You're getting new posts and new tweets and new retweets, and it can be a little overwhelming. So just because things are always happening on Twitter doesn't mean you have to feel like you have to catch up. So if you don't go onto Twitter for 2 days, that doesn't mean you have to go read 2 days worth of education tweets. You'll lose your mind. So whenever you can, jump in, start there and start reading. Don't feel like you have to go catch up on things or see what you missed. That's not the point of Twitter. It's to, whenever you have the opportunity, jump on and get what you need from it. And it can be chaotic. There can be a lot of things happening there. So how do you kind of organize that? So I showed you, searching and hashtags. It's totally fine to unfollow someone. I've followed people who posted, I've seen one great tweet, followed someone, realized they tweeted 800 times an hour, and I can't handle that in my life. So I've unfollowed them, right? It doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. No one knows. No one notices and no one knows. So that's fine. It's also okay to be a lurker. When I first joined Twitter, I didn't tweet or say much for a long time, right? I didn't know if I really had anything to contribute yet. I really was just trying to, watch how things go and be a little bit more receptive. I liken it to my Twitter silent period. And I was just, being receptive and learning the ins and outs and the academic language of Twitter and how to relate to people and contact them and all the ins and outs. And then when I was comfortable, when that silent period was over, I felt more comfortable kind of jumping in or putting my toe in the water rather. So it's okay to just lurk and to watch. It's part of your learning curve. The last tip I will give you is one of my best resources is TweetDeck. And TweetDeck is a way to organize Twitter. So it's tweetdeck.twitter.com, and it looks a little bit different. So what it does is it categorizes things according to how you like it. So here's my regular Twitter feed. This is just like the Twitter feed. Let's take a look over here. It's the same as this Twitter feed right here. So we can see that looks just like that one. So this is my regular Twitter feed, but I also have columns to see just what I've done. So this is just what I've posted or retweeted or shared. Then I can see my notifications, who's followed me, who's liked what I've said, things to that effect. The next column is people who've started to follow me. So I can see who's followed me, see if I want to reach out, send them a message, or check out their page to follow them. Here's where all of my hashtags that I'm interested in are. So it pulls out things by hashtag, and so it keeps populating it. So this is from the IRC Multilingual Illinois Conference in 2019. I couldn't attend because I was injured, so I followed it on TweetDeck, and so I could see what was happening from all of the participants and presenters and from the IRC tweeting. I also follow ELL chat and just to see what is going on in that hashtag. Here's IL Ed Chat, Illinois Ed Chat. Here's ELL Ed Tech. This isn't used as much. And it's primarily only used by one teacher who really is trying to get it started, but it's really good about the crossover between technology and English learner instruction. I follow dual language chat. I follow what the IRC tweets. Today, or not today, a couple days ago when I was searching for any up-to-date lists of ed chats, I was searching here. So you can see once I searched for them, it created a column. Once I'm done with that, I can remove that and I don't need it anymore. If I want to create a new column, I can go here, and if I say, oh, you know what, I can click here and say, oh, you know what, I would really like to take a look at this Flipgrid fever, which is Flipgrid's hashtag. I can see who's tweeting about Flipgrid and what strategies people are using there. If Flipgrid fever isn't the right one, maybe I want to just search hashtag Flipgrid and see, yeah, that seems to be a little bit more active. So I might go through there and I can see who's using Flipgrid and how they're using it. Kind of get some ideas there. So TweetDeck really helps keep me organized in Twitter, and I think it's really helped me to be a little bit more successful using Twitter to get information I want out of it. Speaking of Twitter chats, Twitter chat is a live Twitter event. So people set a time to come and discuss via Twitter a specific topic. So in the instance of ELL chat, that's always Monday nights, and people get together at 7 p.m. and there's a topic. It's moderated by Judy Haynes and Karen Nemeth, and they have a schedule of topics, and whatever the topic is for that day, they'll post the questions, usually 5 questions, earlier that day, and then they ask a question and people respond and answer it and start a discussion about it. Then they'll move on to the next question, and so on and so on and so on. So to filter all that chatter on Twitter into the single conversation, they use a hashtag. So ELL chat uses hashtag ELL chat. And that's where Twitter really comes in super handy, or TweetDeck rather, comes in very handy, because you can see just that stream being populated for, let's say, ELL chat, and you don't have to continually search ELL chat on Twitter over and over again. It's just going to do it for you. So you can see that would come in very handy for that. If you click here, you'll see a Twitter chat schedule. make sure it's in Central Time, but it will show you what chats are on the books for tonight. And so you can see there's a lot going on. Less on Friday and Saturday, more on Sunday, and then it picks up on Monday. And we can see, should be at, oh, I was wrong. It's 8 p.m. is ELL chat. There you go. So if we head here, this Beginner's Guide to Twitter for Educators also has a list of really great Twitter chats in education, if you want to check that out. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you kind of what this looks like, what a Twitter chat looks like. So a moderator will ask a question. So they'll say, what challenges do ELLs face when learning science? And you can see how it says Q2. That's how we know it's question 2. So if I want to answer that, I'm going to answer A2 first so that people know this is the answer for question 2. So A2, and then I'm going to answer that. So here's Karen's answer. And then we can see how other people continue to respond. And so you can see the conversation just kind of unfolds like that. And then when question 2 kind of hits a lull, the moderator will ask the next question. And I promised you I would talk about Virtue EL. And this is a conference that is really great. It's a free online conference that you don't have to pay for, has no registration, no emails. What you will do is if you take this bit.ly and paste it, it will take you to the conference site where you can watch all of the sessions from the 2019 conference. And you can actually go through and see what happened in the last 3 years, actually. So if we look at the one that happened in June, you can see the different speakers and links to their videos. So this is a great way, number one, to catch up, in the summer to get a little extra PD, or, when you're looking for some support on a topic to get some reinforcement throughout the year. So this is a really great resource that you can check out. That's specifically for EL teachers. All right. Blogs are also a great way to grow your PLN. Sometimes I found really great blogs through Twitter, and sometimes I find people to talk to on Twitter through blogs. So they really kind of go hand in hand. But it's very subjective to what you're looking for and the kind of strategies you need or support you need and the kind of people you click with. So I've put a couple blogs that I like to follow, and just as reference for you. If you have some time, go through them, but don't feel required to. Finally, we're going to look at your assignment for this session. So this is your technology application product. You're going to do Twitter Bingo. So what Twitter Bingo entails is, number one, that you create a Twitter account if you don't have it. If you have a personal Twitter account that you use for non-education stuff, you may want to create a Twitter account just for education. It's usually simpler to have a professional and a personal account if you use Twitter personally as well. So create the account, and then you're going to make a copy of Twitter Bingo by clicking this Make a Copy. It will bring you to Twitter Bingo. And then what you're going to do, if it doesn't prompt you to make a copy, do make sure you go to File and then Make a Copy. It didn't ask me because I own the document, but just covering my bases. Okay, so your assignment is to complete and X out any 5 boxes in Twitter Bingo. Usually I say complete 5 in a row, but then I always get a soft spot and say, or any 5 boxes. Just because sometimes if you can't, if you like 3 of the ones in the row, I don't want you to have to give up because one of them is a little harder or you can't access quite yet. So complete any 5, free space included, and I'm going to show you how you're going to mark this. So when you are on Twitter, this is what I'd like you to do. So let's say you're going to do this one, search ELL chat and retweet a resource. So if I am in this class, what I'm going to do is go to my Twitter account. I am going to search ELL chat. I'm going to see what's happening. What's the latest thing to be posted in here? I do love sticky notes and chart paper. I like that. I can like it and I can retweet it. Okay. Now, did you notice how in Twitter Bingo it said retweet a resource, but you also have to tweet. I'd like you to use hashtag CIL532 in all your tweets. So if I see that, then I'm going to go, oh, I'm going to retweet with a comment because that's what I really wanted to do. And I can say, hey, at CIL532. I don't want to yell at you. And then hit retweet. So make sure you retweet with a comment so that you can hashtag it 532. And why that is helpful is that then when anyone searches that hashtag, we can see that, and then you can see from the last time I taught this course. Oh, actually, let's do this one too. Oh, great resources for anyone working on final projects. So here you can see anytime I taught this course, this gets active, and you can see how other people have turned it in. So what I'd like you to do is once you complete a box, so let's say you did search ELL chat and retweet a resource, I'd like you to go to fill color, pick a fun color you like, and fill that box. That's the easiest way to do it. If you'd like to draw X's or get creative to mark them off, go ahead, but filling the box is all that's necessary. When you're done, I'd like you to tweet a picture of the Twitter Bingo. So the way I would do that is a few ways. So you can take a screenshot however you do that, right? You can do that, and then you would go to create your tweet and then add that picture. And then you can click tweet to tweet that resource. So I'll be tweeting this momentarily, and you will see that it's time for Twitter Bingo again. And I've tagged a few hashtags. I tagged the Illinois Resource Center. When you share your completed Twitter Bingo sheet with me, make sure that you add my username in there, so at Maggie Essig, so that I can see that you're done. That's how I'm going to know that you've finished the assignment. If you have any problems with that, always let me know. But that is usually the easiest way to share it. So we will tweet this and head on back here. So that is your technology application product for this session. You're just going to complete 5 boxes. The free space does count, so it's really only 4 other things that you have to do. Once you're done, tweet a picture of your bingo board to me, and that's how you'll submit your assignment. Then you will complete your technology reflection on Twitter. That is all you have to do this session. I look forward to seeing what everyone tweets, and I will see you in our final session, session 9.